Ngibathela bonke ngamasoldata ngenyama bese ngiyabayisa manika umkhalakani amalabundethu bambiza uhalakani noma ungangifanisa akekho ofana nami noma ungasikhombisa ufuna ukuhamba nami ukuthi uzongithamisa
expression and happiness. I love that. But then we just time out. So then, is there somebody else who's going to do something to fit you? Just as part of our.
Wematoda sabelani, wematoda sabelani, wematoda manjani, ayole sitile iwele kosi, wematoda sabelani, wematoda sabelani. Abafazi bayalila, ayole kosi sitile tululu, tululu, tululu,
Hi, everybody. So beautiful. So Wababa Sefe, Nosasana Dama, and myself, Barbara Emerson, were involved in 1986 and 1987 in protest theatre and arts for transformation. We wanted big change in South Africa. It was the middle of apartheid, and we were desperate for change. And we together created, one of the things that we did in 1986 was a production called Abamanyari. It was the first time the black and white dancers, two of us met, we brought our people together and we broke all the rules and barriers, and we created this song called Abamanyari. And so we want to teach it to you. Yay. And it's very simple. It's Bamanyani, Hambani, Bamanyani, Hambani, Yosi, Fulenu, Afrika. Bamanyani, Hambani, Yosi, Fulenu, Afrika. Bamanyani, Hambani, Yosi, Fulenu, Afrika. Amanyani, Amani, Yosi, Africa.
Bonjour is a greeting in Anishinaabe. It means hello. Can we say it together? Bonjour. I'm going to share with you a creation story of the Anishinaabe people from Turtle Island. This is the creation after the Great Flood. The Creator has seen the way that the people lived in harmony, but over time, there were wars and there were things that happened where the people lost their respect for one another. And so the Creator was saddened by that and felt that the earth needed to be purified through water. And so there was a great flood. And after the great flood, there was our original man, Wayne Buju. And he was in the water with all of the animals on a log floating through the water. And he wanted to bring the earth back to the people. And so he knew that when we go under the water, there would be the land and the mud and the earth was there, but he didn't know how to get to it. So he asked of all the animals to bring, if they could, to bring the mud from the earth under the water back up so that he could create life from that again. So all the animals tried their hardest to go down. The fish swam, they couldn't reach the bottom and bring the earth up. The turtle tried, and the animal that made it was the muskrat, the youngest and weakest of all of them. And he sacrificed his life to bring the mud from the earth back up to Wayne Buju so that we could have life on earth again. And so the muskrat went down into the water, grabbed the earth, and everyone waited for him. They waited, and they weren't sure who was going to make it back. And they were about to give up when they saw his little paw. He had sacrificed his life. So they took the mud out of his paw, and Wayne Buju sprinkled that mud on the back of the turtle. And with that, he was able to bring the energy of the four directions to that space, and from the back of the turtle created land again for the people to live on. So as the wind began to blow, and the wind blowing from all four directions, the tiny piece of earth on the turtle's back began to grow larger and larger until it became and formed a mini sea. That means island in Anishinaabe. This island in the water was the earth, but it still grew, and the turtle bore the weight of the earth on its back. And so that's why we come from Turtle Island. The turtle carries the weight of our lives on it. In Anishinaabe, the animals can live in the earth without us. The animals do not need us to live, but we need them. And so they understand that and they respect that we need them to survive here. And so they offer their life, they offer their gift to us to help us to live life on earth in harmony with them. Wayne Buju began to sing a song, and all the animals began to dance in a circle on the growing island. And as he sang, they danced in an ever-widening circle. And finally, the wind ceased to blow, and the waters became still, and a huge island sat in the middle of the great water. And that is where we are today. And so, thank you for having us here.
Bonjour. Nimchukua yeminde shikakas makwando em. Mnidu mnesing donjaba Canada esnukabe. So in language, I introduce myself, my spirit name. We have our own names, and my name is Nimkikwe, which means thunder. It's an honor to arrive here yesterday and have the thunders greet me. So that was very connecting for me. And then in my home we have a system, a clan system that we belong to. So I belong to the Bear clan. So there are those seven clans altogether, but I belong to the Bear clan. And so when I am raised in my way, we follow what the bear does. And that's our education. A long time ago, that's the way it used to be. And we're trying to go back to that. And I ask that a smudge be given up over here. We call it a smudge, but it's sage. It's sage and some medicine, like cedar that comes from my land. So it was an honor to bring it here to smudge here in Europe. But that we do that smudge to because everybody has a spirit, everybody has a soul, and so we always smudge that spirit. We nourish that spirit inside of us. We cleanse that spirit. That's how we feed our spirit inside of us. And so we smudge every day. And so when we smudge, it's kind of like we smudge that spirit, because we see that spirit is in the back of our head. And when we are born, we have a soft spot in our head. And so that's how the spirit comes into the body, is through that soft spot. And so it eventually goes over. So we say that spirit is in the back of our head. And so we always smudge that spirit, nourish that spirit that's inside of you. And because that's a connection to your ancestors. And then our face, we wash our face, so that we can see good, we can hear things good in a good way, and we can speak good. That's why we smudge. And then we smudge our heart, because we want to have a kind heart today. Just for today. And then we smudge our for the women, because we give life, we carry life. We are the only ones that bring life into this world, into this creation. And so we have that Creator's creation. We've been given that responsibility as women. And then we smudge the rest of our body, so that we can walk in a good way today, for today. And so I wanted to give that to you, bring that to you while we were smudging everybody. And so we always clean the space where we are when we come to talk, when we come together. We smudge everybody. We don't have to accept it, but we just walk around and we just smudge. So that's cleaning the space so that everything will be good. And so now I'd like to introduce to you your first of all, I'm going to allow the rest of our team, our Turtle Island team, to introduce themselves.
I didn't introduce myself before I started telling you my story. I got so excited to share with all of us. Bonjour, I am Bisa Gowe Kizis Kimiwanikwe, and it means raining in the dawn woman. And my name that I was given by my mother is Rain Dawn, so it was very fortunate that my spirit name is the same as my given name. So thank you for having me today. I'm Turtle Mountain Chippewa from North Dakota tribe in America, so thank you.
Hello, my name is Grace Jones. I also come to you here from Turtle Island, North Carolina in the United States. I'm an enrolled member of the Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina, and I'm honored to be here with you to help bring our teachings to your communities for our continued shared healing. Thank you so much. My name is Shanna Lim, and I come to you representing Turtle Island Nation. I am a mixed Asian, Indigenous American daughter of immigrant, and I am proud to be here seeing all of you. I am a performance artist, and we'll be talking more to all of you later.
Good morning. When I say tubo tubo, you say tubo. Tubo tubo. Tubo. Tubo tubo. When I say sesa, you say sa. Sesa. Sesa. When I say tuma, tuma, you say tuma yele yele. Tuma. Tuma yele yele. Tuma. Tuma yele yele. Tuma. Tuma yele yele. When I say bo sabo, you say boko bush. Saboko. Boko bush. Saboko. Boko bush. Saboko. Boko bush. Thank you very much. My name is Boko. I am a Canadian citizen. I am a peace builder and storyteller, artist, theater maker. I use arts to make peace with community, social justice, and social change. So I'm here to be able to learn from one another. I'm looking forward to doing the workshop, the smaller groups, and it will be Tuboto, Sesa, and all those nice things. Thank you very much.
I'd like to introduce Jennifer, your keynote speaker. Jennifer Falayan is from Baltimore, and she's a hard worker in that country, in that area. She works for the people there. So I'd like to introduce her to you so that you can come in and speak with you. Jennifer?
Welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on the day one of the Artizen Conference. Yes, thank you. So, my name is Jennifer Falayan, and I live in the United States. My tribes are Cherokee, Pueblo, and Aztec. And we are so excited to travel as a team from Turtle Island to share our arts and teachings and to collaborate with you and learn from your arts and teachings. So it's a very honorable day to be here. I'm so thankful. Thank you for waking up and joining us on this journey. And in honor of the women here of this land that we're on, I give honor to this land that we're standing on today. I give honor to all the stories of people that have passed through. Thank you to the trees blowing outside. Thank you for the breath that we're breathing today. And I'm going to sing to you a song that was given from one of our sisters in Canada, Little Watt Tribe. And she dedicated, this song came to her in a dream because many of our women in the States and Canada are suffering being kidnapped and murdered. And it's a very big problem. And I know even here, you may have femicide and domestic violence. And so I know everybody's fairly young, but I'm sure that there's somebody that you know or a family member that has maybe had some trauma in their history. So just want us to breathe that in. Give honor to all those stories. Give honor to anything that we've been through. I'm going to offer this song to you. story and how, in our traditions, the story was created on the back of a turtle, I want to invite you to consider, is there an animal or an element that you feel connected to? So just take a moment and think, is there any particular animal or element, like a tree, a moon, a tiger, an elephant, a monkey? What are some of the animals and elements in your area? So as you're thinking about that, I want you to find someone to share that with. So we're going to do a share for like 60 seconds, really quick. One person for 30 seconds to share your animal or element, and then get the other person to share their animal or element. And it's okay, you can laugh, it could be funny, but so let's find a partner and share your animal or element. And wait, there's a bonus. A bonus extra credit is to give an emotion to your animal. So if it's an elephant, you can put elephant emotion or whatever. Okay. 30 seconds, share your animal or element. Just let me know when 30 seconds. Okay, switch. Get the other person to share their animal or elements. Switch. Make sure you share both of yours. Got 30 more seconds. Okay, stop. Silence. Okay, so you both shared your animal or element. Now, here's the challenge. Find somebody new and take on the partner's animal or element. So whatever your partner shared with you, you're going to go to someone new as that animal or element. Okay, 60 seconds. Go, somebody new. Somebody new. Somebody new. Share with somebody new. I'm watching you. When shortly after I do this first. Having to readjust what I'm saying because I don't want to scare them with my story. It's like, oh my God, I wasn't prepared to say it. Talk to you. Yeah. It's good. Yeah. Okay. Make sure you switch. Give the other person a chance. I meant to show you, I ordered that for the turtle lounge. I mean turtle lodge with the turtle lounge. Inside. All right, Andy. Stop. Silence. Okay. So, you first started out with your own animal or element, and then you switched. How did it feel when you switched to a new animal or element? Did it feel different, awkward? And sometimes in life we have to adapt to different situations, and it calls upon us to be a different person or come from a different perspective. So let me give you a challenge. Throughout this week, as you're coming to the conference, at school, or whatever you're doing for this week, take on that new animal or element, because there is no coincidence that you inherited that animal or element. So start to think of yourself. Give me an example of an animal or element someone got.
Leopard.
A leopard, okay. What's
didn't want to do the lyrics. What I wanted to say is, especially in Southern Africa, and especially amongst the Indian culture, we adopt animals, certain animals as our surnames and totems.
Oh, nice. So what's yours?
Mine is, in Eastern Ndebele, we call it Inkolobi. I'm trying to think of the English word.
Okay, no problem.
Yes.
Start speaking up some animal or elements. Cheetah. Hippo. Wolf. Goat. Elephant. Cat. All right. What was that one? Okay. So, as you're going through this week, the new animal or element you adopted, think of yourself in that way and see what opens up for you as you take on a new perspective. So, I will give briefly some of my story. And like I said, I know we're speaking to a young audience today. My story does involve some trauma, and if you've experienced trauma, I just want you to know that you're safe in this room. If anybody that you know has experienced trauma, know that you're safe in this room. We're all family here. And at times, if you feel nervous or anxious, just take a moment, take a breath. So let's practice taking a breath. And sometimes you may want to hold your heart or give yourself a hug, like, yay, I'm so happy to be alive. I made it today. Woohoo! So, part of my series is called Spread Your Wings, the Courage to Fly. And we work through the life cycle of a butterfly. And like I said, sometimes in life we're going through different stages, going through different parts of our life. And as Rain was sharing, that even the muskrat who thought that he was, like, people made fun of him, maybe I'm not so significant, what can I do? When we take on that new animal or element, there's plenty that we can do. And I'll just explain that Rain will be over here, and she's going to do what she calls intuitive art. So as she feels things and does, as I'm talking, you may see her do something. So that's what's going on over here, just so you're not confused. So my story, as the muskrat coming up deep from the earth and sacrificing ourselves, he had to go way deep into the sea, deep into the water. And there was a point in my life, maybe about 4 years ago, where I wasn't feeling so great. I was feeling in a very dark place, near to the muskrat, going deep into the water, didn't really know what was going to happen. And I just got so frustrated. I locked myself into the bathroom, and I went underneath the water. And underneath the water, everything was muted. I don't know if you've ever been underwater, but you can't really hear things too well. And it just seemed like a peaceful place. I didn't want to harm myself. I just felt like I wanted to disappear. Like there was nothing there for me. I was just feeling, I'm working so hard, and why is it so hard? Wasn't feeling loved. I didn't feel like I had a family. And so maybe sometimes you may feel a little awkward in your situation. Maybe you feel that there's something more to life, but you're just not sure what it is. So don't worry. I did get out of the bathtub finally. And I sought some therapy. I knew I needed to get some help. At that time in my life, I had lost a second baby. So I was feeling really devastated and really sad. I had lost 2 babies. And I thought, well, what does God have for me anyway? If I can't have babies, if I can't be a mom, is there really any purpose for me? And sometimes as you get older, you may have ideas of what people want you to do, what your family thinks that you should be doing. And sometimes it doesn't work out in that timing. And it's okay that you may have doubts and stuff like that. So I did get therapy, I got help. Obviously I'm here, so don't be scared. But it reminds me, and like I said, I have experienced a lot of trauma in my life. And if I share with you, just know that I'm okay. I've had a lot of therapy. I've gone through a lot of things, so I don't want you to feel scared for me. But ever since I was little, since the time of being 4 years old, I was abused. I suffered sexual abuse, and there was domestic violence in my home. And I'm a survivor of incest and rape, and I graduated from foster care. In the States, when there's not family to take care of the kids, put them in foster care. I'm not sure if you have something similar here. So I was sent to live in a home at age 14, and I lived in 2 different foster homes. So, and growing up, it just wasn't my dad. There was about 8 other people in the neighborhood that abused me. So at a very young age, again, I didn't have a sense of myself. I felt invisible. And I just went through life questioning, well, who am I? Like, who is this Jennifer person? Because there's all this stuff going on, life's so unfair, everybody wants something from me. And it wasn't until age 4 to 14, I kept a secret. I kept that secret for 10 years, and I was afraid to tell. But there was one night where my father and we got into a fight. And so even though I had seen my father hit my mother, he had never hit me. He was sexually abusing me, but never physically abusing me. But this one night, he was all angry. He drove a motorcycle, so he's coming on his motorcycle and yelling at me, and he slapped me across the face. I was like, uh-oh. That never happened before. And my friend called the police, and the police came out, and the police said, either you can come with us to the police station or you can go home. And I was like, well, I looked over there to where my dad was to go home. It was complete blackness, and I saw my life flash before my eyes. I didn't exactly know what that meant, but I knew if I went home that my life was going to be over. I had never been hit before by my father, and I saw what he did to my mother, and I wasn't about to go down that path. So I went to the police station just thinking, well, I'll go with them, they'll let me out, go back to my friend's house. I didn't even have shoes on, I was barefoot, had some jeans and a t-shirt. I knew what I was doing. So I went to the police station and I told my story. And what resulted was my father was arrested that next morning. And then a social worker came and picked me up from jail and said, no, you can't go back to your friend's house, you're coming with me. It's like, okay. And at the time, my mom was living homeless, so there was nobody to take care of the house. The house got foreclosed upon, which means they throw all your stuff out into the street and they take the house away. And I was placed in a foster home. And it was a white Christian military foster home. And in the States, they have something called cream of wheat. It was like a porridge. I never ate that before, so they sat me down. And I was like eating this stuff, I was like, where am I? Who are you? And it felt like completely alienated. And I just started crying, like the tears were just coming down. I didn't know that telling my truth would result in my father going to jail. I didn't know that it would break the family apart. I didn't know we were going to lose the house and I would never see my friends again. They threw my stuff out on the street. I couldn't go home to see my dog, my cats, my little doll babies. And I say all that sometimes you make choices and decisions in life. We don't know the consequences. And I know now that it wasn't my fault. I know that it was an adult decision and adults had to suffer the consequences. But as a child, sometimes we take responsibility. I was always the wrong person. Kept everything together. And that's what I want to say is that sometimes, at certain points in your life, you may hear a little voice drumming up. It may feel that it's in your gut. And that was the little voice that I started to hear at age 14, that I could no longer keep the secrets of the family, that I could no longer go invisible because it was killing me. And we all have a purpose. We all have a divine uniqueness of what we can offer the world, what we can offer in this moment of time. So I just want you to imagine that and honor that part of yourself that has something to offer, that beautifulness, that innocence. You may have brothers or sisters, if you remember when they were born, or you may see a little baby and they're like, oh, cute, you got this joy, and they're so happy. And in the innocence, we also have a connection to our roots, because we've all come from somewhere. And like the gentleman was saying, you maybe have inherited a name, an animal, a spirit. So we all have these deep ancestral roots and connections. And I just again want to stop and thank the deep roots and connections that are here in this ground today. And you can take deep breaths. And maybe there's somebody that you would like to invite into this space. Maybe you have a grandma, an ancestor, somebody you knew. Maybe there's a historical figure that you feel connected with. And I just give honor. Honor to my grandmas, honor to my father, to my aunts, honor to Mandela, Martin Luther King, Harriet Tubman. Thank you for living your life that we may be here today. Thank you for those strong roots. And as we stand on this land, I'm just reminded of all of our paths towards freedom. There's the big picture, the big countries and cities and historical figures that fought for freedom. And then there's also our personal journey towards freedom, our personal journey into discovering who are we, what are we going to offer. And if you ever feel silenced or stopped in your own self-expression, just know that you do have that freedom inside. We all have this light inside that we can just share with the world or share with your friend sitting next to you. And going through the world with that new perspective, with that new identity, have an open curiosity. Have an open curiosity about different connections that we can make and different possibilities that we can do. So there's so much to share, and in this brief moment, we can't share everything, but we are going to have workshops throughout the week. So if you are around, we're going to be having some workshops. And I'd just like to say that as a butterfly, going through that phase, coming out of pain, coming out of different circumstances, giving honor to our ancestors, that when we come out of that cocoon, what happens? So we were a caterpillar, we go into the cocoon, we prepare for transformation, and as we're coming out, we're like, whoa, look what I got, some new wings, hey. But they're kind of floppy and flimsy, we don't know how to use them. You ever get something new, you're like, how do I use this? So, Shana, would you come up? So let's practice coming out of our cocoons with these new wings. Let's kind of like maybe do some movement with that. And as Shana moves, you can mimic her, you can stand up.
Well, you'll do your own version.
Yes.
So you can stand or you can sit, but let's bring our arms. So as if you're struggling, so you're in a constricted space, right? So you're like this. Okay, so we'll start here. So you're breaking out of this cocoon. So your arms are coming out. So move your arms as if you're coming out of a constricted space, right? Yes. Coming out, and you're trying to open your arms. Try to open your arms, but there's pressure. There's pressure pushing your wings, pushing your arms in, but you're like, opening up, and there's tension. There's tension. And tension. And then you finally broke out. Okay? Okay? So now you have these like decrepit things, muscular and weak things that you're trying to mobilize. Right? So now how do you open up what has been constricted? So try to open, so you're trying to utilize, okay, so there's a joint here. Oh, there's another part of the wing. Oh, there's another part of the wing. You're stretching it out. So stretch out your wing. Stretch, open up, Use every angle of your elbow, your wrist, your fingers, your shoulders. So you really have your wings are right here, right? Right here. So you open your arms, open till you finally stretch out. Stretch. And you're finding the full form of your wings. You're finally open. It took a struggle, right? But you're finally open now. Now that your wings are open, you can flow, you can move. So move your arms. You're controlled now. You have complete capacity to be free. Right? And what does moving around and being free feel like? Freedom of your body, freedom of movement of your whole body. Yes. Very good.
Everybody practice their butterflies. So we'll just end with a water song. And this water song, sometimes you can sing it fast or slow. And I just want to thank you for being here today. And all of our journeys are like the water, fast and slow, rough and easy. And so thank you for everyone.
Wow, what was that, everybody?
Let them clap. There's a nice classic style.
You do it.
One moment. So, how many of you know thunder? How many of you love thunder? Okay. So I will teach you a hand clap that uses thunder and lightning. Okay? So when I say mil polo, you say like this. Mil polo, mil polo, mil polo, mil polo. When I say mol polo, you do like this. Mol polo. Mol polo. So mil polo, mil polo, mil polo, mol polo. Mol polo.
So I'm going to ask teacher to please come forward. So Jennifer, this is the teacher who brought the students to us today. And I'm going to ask teacher to do a thank you, and maybe you want to ask one of the learners to do it. So I'm going to hand over to you, if that's okay.
Teacher.
Choose good. Is it afternoon yet?
Still morning.
Okay, good morning. Okay.
Can you stand here? So, yeah, because we're just recording.
Once again, good morning, everyone. And I'm sure some of you will realize that what they described of their culture, we see us or we see ourselves in their culture. There is an interconnection between their culture and our culture. And I'm sure you guys also realize even the way they practice their cultural religions is sort of interconnected with ours, especially here in Southern Africa. And I would like to ask one of, can we have a volunteer to come and, yes.
And also share your animal or element.
Oh, that'll be a cat.
And what does a cat do? What kind of motion?
They're like, oh, they understand humans. Like, you talk to them again, but no response. And they say, cake and 9 lives. So, but I still have my lives.
Nice.
So will you do thank you?
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
So it's been a long time since I've been a teacher. So what I need, because you're all the new generation, that's Uncle Faith on the camera, and this is Uncle Orbit on the other camera. I want to say hello to Mom Liz Castle, who has been working with us since 1993, when we drew up the South African Children's Charter. Remember, South Africa only had 4 provinces before we had 9. And Auntie Liz and I traveled around the breadth of South Africa so that we could write up South Africa's children's rights. Because if you remember, in apartheid, we had no rights. So this was a very important process that we had to go through. Auntie Liz is also a visual artist, and she also teaches art. So I want to thank you, Auntie Liz, for being with us today. She will be having a workshop tomorrow, but I know all of you are here with us today with all these wonderful facilitators that we have. I would like to allow the facilitators to just give us maybe 2 minutes of an introduction of what they will be doing. We will break off into 3 groups. One group will stay here, one will go downstairs, 2 will go downstairs. We'll discuss where the spaces are. But just, are you going to give the...
Sure. Well, I'll let...
You let them speak, yeah?
Yeah, I'll let them say a few words about what their presentation is, but also they'll not lunch, but
so we're just going to give everybody 2 minutes to tell us. And I want to thank you as an audience. I want to thank the school. I want to thank you for coming here and being part of this. I don't know how it was for you, but for me it was very, very special. I don't think we'd ever get an opportunity like this to really engage with a very special group of people who have come all this way. So I really, really want to thank you. This was just so very special. When I said to you, I'm an old teacher, you know, when we were doing those workshops with Auntie Liz, we used to sing songs that were very old. We used to do Stimela, which would, you know, you all know the song. Or we would try to sing, which I asked you guys earlier, maybe we should sing Nkosi Sikeleli Africa, we should do the national anthem. So can we do that? And then we'll allow them, because that will be a thank you to you, which is God bless Africa.
Thank you.
Can I ask you to lead it? You'll know what to do better than me.
Yes.
Guys, on 3, we start the national anthem. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, thank you everybody. So we allow you to tell us. You have a breakfast. So you will be here? Okay. So Balu will be in this group. Balu, do you just want to tell them what you are doing? And then that's a group.
So now, Dr. Sana, can you come with me because we're together? So I just want to.
Okay.
Just try and give it.
Thank you.
What has
Yeah, you can just tell them for 2 minutes quickly so they know that we will rotate, which means you will get an opportunity to be in the different groups. When we go downstairs, there'll just be a light snack so you can get something downstairs. But right now, I just want us to first just say, one group will stay here, and then there are 2 groups downstairs. Teacher, we have 30 people. So we can just split that. I think usually what we do is we say 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then that's how you go, right? You do the same way? So you want? No, my darling. One. Three. 2. 1. 3. 1. 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we've got the group. All the ones will stay here. The 2s and 3s will go downstairs. Okay. I think.
You don't really need to give up.
All the number ones, you will come back here. Number 2, you go there's a room on the left and there's a room on the right for the 3s. But I would like you all to, very orderly, just the way you came in, which was beautiful. Please go downstairs, get something to drink, right? There's a snack and eat. Okay, let's just have one announcement. Guys, everybody. Listen. We've broken them into 3 groups. They're going to get all of it. So let them go so that they go up and then come back to rotate.
Gotcha.
Yes. Because they're different groups. Yeah? Okay?
But really quick. So I'm putting together a production for the final day, Monday of the conference. I'm not sure what time yet. But after the conference, we're doing a final production. So if you are interested, we'll be doing it site specific here on the site. We're rehearsing from 4:15 to 5:15 today. It'll probably, the times may fluctuate a little.
All right, we are here. We're here. Hope everybody's wonderful. Live at the Teaching Artists Institute Artisan Conference.
If you want to come back, that's gonna be at your own time and your
I want to go
own
just.
organization, and then you will join.
Is this supposed to be like? All right, everybody, we're just taking a quick break.
Kanti sekune-activity sasukudla guys. Halo. Este pieza es el fan. Ikaw, don't touch the pen. Thank you very much.
Yeah, go ahead. Have first. All right. Oh my God. Oh, where you get that from?
We are part of the Glen Foundation.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
What fruits? Yes.
All right. All right, so we are still live. Hopefully you all are staying with us. Be here till 4. Be here till 4 o'clock. About to have some breakaway sessions. Take one. Yes. Oh, no, well, no, not the big one. Pour a cup. You want some of this? Give Again? Oh, sure.
Baiklah, punya pun nak pambangan kan. Itu kai.
You can make it speak English.
I'm putting it in the bed and I can carry this. I'm taking an avocado.
Can you take one for me? Papa, can you please take an avocado?
You see, they recording you on this time.
Yeah, because you haven't done.
Udah mana sih? Udah mana?
Brian.
Oh, sisi le avocado, so teki le avocado. Yona mse avocado la mdodo.
Sorry.
Yeah, like done. Yeah, done.
Ah, this is online.
It's alive.
Oh, I teach you there. I'm supposed to share this. I didn't tell you.
No.
Yeah, but I'm not Saturday.
No, done. Kuni banana. Done. Some of them are there is. I think it's sushi. There is sushi I go right. These days I've been
One banana, Rajan.
Oh. He's like, what about two?
I put them in share banana.
Do you have important that time, please?
Oh,
I'm sorry. Yeah. Try to hold everything. Thank you. Can I please?
Bah, the guy has the bell and this. Okay, everybody. So we're gonna come back here in a couple minutes. So we'll send you the link out again. We're gonna get started back in a couple minutes. So stand by. All right, we're out.